Bullseye the Clown here, and welcome to a very brand new episode of Bullseye on Bullying. Today we're going to do something special. I have my very first guest on my show, so hopefully everything goes okay because I don't really know Zoom, and when you put a Zoom and a computer in front of a clown, who knows what's going to happen. So today I have a very special guest. She's actually the sponsor of our show. It's our brand new sponsor. Her name is Leslie Ann Akin. Hello, Leslie.
Hi, how are you, Bullseye? Good to
I'm
be
doing
here.
fantastic. How are you doing?
You're having a circus of fun. I can see that.
I certainly am. So, before we get started, why don't you just tell me just a little bit about you?
Well, heck, let's see. How do I start? That's a lot. That's a whole lifetime. You know what's
Okay, let's start this way then. How about that? So, I know years ago that you used to be a clown. Tell me
I
about
was.
your experience as a clown and what made you decide you wanted to even be a clown.
It wasn't really a decision. It was thrust upon me. No, it was a decision based on a class that a girlfriend and I took once a week at a community college, and we just thought it would be fun, like a girls' night out kind of thing. And we did. And there were 28 students in the class. There were four men. All four men dropped out. There were 14 graduates, and we were the only two that went professional.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 1975.
And so, how long? 1975. I was four. No, just kidding. Never mind. I was just a little. I was just a little clown back then.
You were a picture of a clown.
That's right. So you then, where did you clown? Did you do parties? Did you do circus? Did you do
I,
it? What all did you do?
I pined to be in the circus at that point, but not. I wasn't in the circus at that time. I did a lot of parties. I did corporate picnics. I did a lot of the embassies in Washington, D.C., performed at the White House twice under Carter and Reagan, and, did a lot of things in that community for several years, and definitely had the bug to be in the circus. In fact, I loved being on the East Coast because the tent circuses at that time were coming from Florida in May, and they'd start up the East Coast and come up all the way up and work their way back down in the fall. And I would chase circuses all summer.
You're a circus chaser.
I was a circus chaser. Clyde Beatty Cole Brothers, I used to guest clown with them a lot, and just all kinds of circuses. Hoxie Brothers, where I met the tallest clown ever, which was Buck Nolan. He was 7'6", and
Wow.
I guest clowned with him, and we had some fun. It was good. Yeah. So I used to do that, and so that's how I kind of got my circus kicks, and I belong to the Circus Fans of America, which is an official circus organization. And I really learned a lot about circus, and I became a circus fan. Goes on the lot. You know, you don't just show up and ask to be a guest clown. You go and you help people on the circus. So if somebody
Oh,
needs to go to the doctor or get to the grocery store and they're already parked, and, it's hard to get out, to just run an errand or something, then I would take them and do things like that.
now,
So
does that
that's,
still exist? Is that still something that exists
yes,
today?
yes, Circus Fans of America, yes,
I've never
CFA,
heard of that. I learned something
yes,
new today.
yes, and they're fantastic. And I belonged to the Emmett Kelly tent, which is out of Hagerstown, Maryland.
Oh,
And I was able to meet him at a banquet in his honor, and the year before he died. So
oh, that's very nice. I
yeah,
like.
I got to meet him. It was very sweet.
So, as a clown, I always like to ask this: do you have like a certain prop that was like your favorite prop, or like a magic trick that was your favorite, or any type of thing like that?
Well, my favorite magic trick was just a silk trick, and I would vanish it. So I would vanish the silk, and then make something else appear, which would surprise people. And then I'd ask if they wanted to see it again, and I'd use the wrong color and say the wrong color, and and they I'd ask them if they wanted to inspect it, and they'd say, yeah, and I'd blow my nose on it, and they go, no, no, okay, didn't think so. So those are the kind of things, that I love stupid stuff like that. I love very basic humor. I'm very basic. Uh, just,
Basic is good.
Three Stooges, Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny. Yeah, Buster
Bullseye the
Keaton,
Clown.
Bullseye the Clown. Yep, Buster Keaton, Chaplin, the whole thing. Yes, all of it. All of it's good. That's my kind of humor.
So then you clowned for how long did you clown? Like 15 years or so?
15, I'd say 15 strong years. And when I say strong, I mean more like 30 years in performing, basically, because I performed all the time. I mean, I was performing all the time. Yeah. Yeah. So it was a lot of performing.
And so what made you decide to stop performing or stop being a clown?
Well, it kind of, one of those things where life happens, and went through a difficult time in my life, and had to move on to do other things. And so it kind of took a toll on me the last year that I was clowning, because I was clowning very intensively. It was my fourth year at a picnic ranch where they hired me to entertain at all of their picnics, their
Oh,
company picnics. And so I was booked solid from May to October. And during that time, I was going through a very difficult time, personal time. And so it just, after that, it took it out, it took a toll out of me, because, when you have to go out and be funny consistently, it's not like I had two parties a month. No, it wasn't like that. It was very, very
every
intense.
day.
I had school shows. I had, the corporate picnics in this, spring, summer, fall, through the whole season, no weekends off. Um, it was a lot. And so during that time, I was also learning about radio, uh, doing radio, and I had an opportunity to do a radio show locally, because I knew jazz, and they needed a time slot filled. And I thought, what are you, okay, it's only what I've always wanted to do.
Yay, so let's do it.
Okay. And then in a year, I had a job at a big NPR station that did jazz in the same area. And so that worked out really well. And I did that for 12 years. I did radio a long time. And so through radio, I got to do uh, graphics for DJs. They wanted their, this was like right around 1989 and 90. DJs were coming to me and saying, Leslie, we know you're artistic. We're doing a CD. Can you do the art? Well, I learned very quickly how to do that. And and so I did. And so I did that for years, just working with musicians, a lot of musicians, and got well known for that. And then, um, kind of evolved into more of a general graphic designer, and then a brand specialist years later. But it's interesting to me how the morphing in my life has really, everything has been organic. It's not like I went to clown college, with Ringling, and became a clown, but I also learned with a clown from Ringling who had been on tour with them for a couple of years, and Steve Rankatori, and he and I did a circus tour together. And so we trained for 5 months to do that. It was very intensive, and it was fantastic. I'm really glad I had that experience. And actually, I was turned down for clown college by Ron Severini. And when I told him years later, I know, he said, you're very talented, but there's this thing about the family.
Now,
So,
ironically, you kind of work with him as in a roundabout way, which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
which was really funny, because this was 1979, he turned me down. And I was so upset. I was so upset at the time. And so anyway, years later, I had my chance, and Steve Rankatori and I worked together. Well, more recently, Ron Severini and I connected, and I said, you know, you turned me down for clown college. And his eyes got real big, like, uh-oh. And I said, but you were right and I was wrong. And I said, my time came later. And he was kind of, okay. He said, you're the only person that ever thanked me. I said, well, thank you for turning me down because it worked out. Everything's fine. I had my chance and I did it. I was glad I did it. I would never do it again.
You would never clown again.
I would never go in the circus again. I would never do it. It's not for me. I'm glad I did it. Glad it's over. It was a great experience to have. And
I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Now I graduated. Now it's time
and
to go.
and it's exactly, and it was, and I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but it was a life that I realized was not for me full time. I'm strong willed and I know what I want to do, but you know what? There are certain things that go along with that you have to deal with, and I don't want to deal with them every day.
Right. So let's touch on something that we brought up a little bit ago. So when I asked you about like why you stopped clowning and you said you were going through a difficult time, one thing I wanted to bring up is that well, while you're clowning, I learned very quickly whenever I was in Russia, and I was bullied whenever I was a kid, and so I still took a lot of that into my adult life. And it's amazing to me, though, if no matter what's going on in your life, when you start going out and you start spreading joy to other people, um, how it doesn't make your problems go away, but they just seem to be less prevalent because you're so focused on making other people happy. Did you find that to be the case in yours?
Without a doubt, even though I thought, I just think I'd rather die than go do this gig. Just shoot me now. I once I got there and I was in it. Oh my gosh, I was in it. I was in it. I just and here's what I learned from that. If I had not had a show that I could depend on and that I knew so well, if I changed up my tricks and all this stuff and shtick every week or every other month, I would not have been able to survive that time frame. I would not have. This way, I had this really strong show, and I was able to know when they were going to laugh and when they were. I could play it. I knew how to play it, and so when I did that and it worked, and I just went into automatic, but you know, I was there, but I didn't have to be 100% there, and they didn't know that.
Right.
And I got through it. I got
You
through
did.
it. I got through it. They they would love the shows, and they'd, be laughing at me at the door as they paid me and say, "Oh, you're so funny."
You're like, yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah. And then I'd go home and, and be myself again and be okay. But I was always feeling better after that.
Good.
I was always feeling like, oh, I did something good today. I did something that brought some joy to somebody else,
Right.
even though I'm going through a difficult time,
Right.
you know?
And so you stopped clowning, you went to the radio, you did the radio, and then you kind of started doing CDs and some graphic designs for everything else. But you're still kind of in the clown community. So how did you circle yourself back around to come into the clown community?
I didn't really plan it. Once again, it was very organic. The one thing I had promised myself I would do is write my book about clowning, and I had been promising myself for years. And one of the things I had done is I had written for Laugh Makers magazine for a number of years, back in the 90s, early 90s. Or no, I'm sorry, early 80s. I'm trying to take years off my life. But
Years
early
off of your
80s,
life and just add them to mine. That's okay.
I know. So early 80s, I was writing for Laugh Makers magazine, and Kathy Gibbons, the editor, had asked me to do that, and I said, I'm really not a writer. And she said, but you have great ideas. And she was a Rhodes Scholar. I mean, she's a brilliant woman. And so when I saw how she edited my writing, I went, oh, okay, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. And then I got better, so that's how I started. And I wouldn't be doing any of this without Kathy Gibbons seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself, and goosing me into doing it.
And so the result of that was a book, correct?
Well, that's what I used as my jumping off point. I took my articles and rewrote many of them because I'm a better writer now, and just did that, and then added other chapters that I wanted to add. And it's called A Fool's Guide to Clowning, and I think I have it here. Let's see, A Fool's Guide to Clowning.
Dun,
Woohoo,
dun,
there it
dun, dun. There it is, A Fool's Guide to Clown. Oh, and look, there's even the clown on the front. Jeez, I wonder who that clown could
I wonder
be.
who that could be. You know what I loved about that nose? I loved that it looked like I grew it.
Yes, it does. It looks looks like a very organic nose, like it was meant to be there.
Yes, it was meant to be there. So I wrote the book, and then a month later, I started a Facebook group called A Fool's Guide to Clowning because I didn't know what else to call it. And just said, so here's what I said to myself. I'm just gonna start a little Facebook group for clowns. And that's all I'm gonna do. And it got a lot of good notice, and people responded, and they answered questions, and they were interacting, and it built pretty quickly. So that was a real wonderful thing. And so a lot of good things came out of that. Another book came out of that called Adventures in Clowning, and I'm working on volume 2, and it is a clownpalation
Compilation. We look at that. That's a fancy word.
of stories that clowns, their experiences, their challenging and their gratifying experiences in clowning. And it is epic. It's a great book. And it's actually available. I'll show you part of the cover here. It's Adventures in Clowning.
Adventures in Clown. There it is.
And that is Donald Carpenter on the front. He's Oddball the Clown. And so basically, this book is available to read online free if you're
Free.
a member.
Free is always good.
Free is great. And I love for people to be able to read it free. It's on mycoai.com. So if you're a member, you have access. And all you have to do is go to mycoai.com and go to free books. And you can't download it, but you can read it online. And I have a chapter in there. It's the last one. And everybody else went first. That's okay.
That's okay. Which is ironic because you're the ones that edited the book, and you could have put yours first if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Nobody would know.
It was about them. And,
yeah, see this. From what I understand, these are books that clowns write in the stories. I think I wrote a story about how I submitted a story to a book that the book's taken forever to come out.
It is. It's volume 2. He had to bust me right there.
See how I am.
Volume 2 of Adventures in Clowning will get done. And yes, and my daughter wrote a chapter, and she used to assist me in my shows, and holy mackerel was that.
I'm sure she's got some stories to tell.
Oh, mercy me. She told some. In fact, her chapter was produced, it was published in one of the last new calliopes from COAI. So yeah, it's really funny. But anyway, she's a hoot.
So then you write the first book, then you have the second book come out, but now you're doing something different. You're doing something a little different, and that is?
Well, everything like, so, it was my book, and then the Facebook group, and then then Adventures in Clowning. And then I thought, I really want to do a publication that has massive value in clowning. I just want it to have a lot of content in each issue. And so I decided to do an e-magazine and send it in email because, you know, it's cheaper to do. You don't have to wait for printing. You don't have to mail it. And I know people like to sit down with a magazine, but this is so much more convenient, and it's more green, as far as green living and, you know, saving paper and all of that.
And if you really want the magazine, then you can print it up and staple it together, and then you can sit in your little armchair and you can read it that way.
Some people do. We have some Australian readers that just print it out, and lots of people do.
I've done that, especially
Yeah,
my articles that are in there. I print those out.
especially yours. And you know, here's what I want to say to you about what you're doing. You've got all this grand experience as a stand-up comedian for 10 years. You know, you've got loads of experience being bullied, which is serving you now.
Yeah, so like, and, you know, speaking of that, you know, ironically, I never talked about that when I did stand up because that wasn't something that I wanted to talk about. But then, as I got older, I kind of realized that God doesn't put you through things without wanting you to learn something from it or share your experience in some other way. So I finally just decided to bite the bullet, so to speak, and
Yeah,
I decided to start talking about something that I thought I could at least make a difference in somebody else's life.
yes. Well, and you're doing that. And so what I see in you is that you are heck bent on getting this done. You know, doing your interviews with other people on, you know, on Zoom and other platforms, and you're very active online. You're making it all happen. And to me, that's very attractive because I see the dedication in you. And so I want to support that. And
Yay!
so, yeah, I
You,
want to
you
support
can send your check to Bullseye the Clown.
that. Yeah. No, you just want my autograph on a check.
There you go. There you go. That's the best thing. Yes. Bullseye at bullseyetheclown.com.
Right. And so basically, I really do want to support you because you're doing great work, and you're doing it with Red Nose Readers as well.
Yes.
And I'm excited for you and being involved in that. And so it's just a wonderful opportunity for me to support you, and you know, it's good for both of us. But so should I show everybody
Yes, let's take a look at the magazine,
the
shall we?
magazine? Well, especially since our dear friend is on the cover.
Oh, we have a dear friend on the cover.
We have a
Who
dear
can
friend on
that
the cover.
be?
Look at
Let's see
this.
what we got. Oh, looky there.
Look
Look
at
how young
that.
he looks.
That's Brian Lee, Bullseye the Clown. He is
Yes.
on the cover.
And Leslie said, "Oh, send me a picture." And so I sent her this beautiful picture, and she says, "Look what I did! I airbrushed you. I made you look young. I brightened your teeth. I brightened your eyes. I brightened your smile." And I thought, well, Jiminy Christmas! I didn't realize I was so dingy.
You're telling all the secrets.
I know. That's what the show is. This is secrets. Bullseye secrets.
You spent it. All right. That's okay. You're adorable. Look how cute you are.
That is. It's a great cover. So there's the cover, and look at all of the stories right down there, all along the
Yep.
side.
There are a few problems a bucket of fried chicken can't solve. And here they are. Horror fried chickens.
That's right. Look, look how many chickens in there. There's 4 chickens right there. See that one chicken in my pocket?
In your pocket. And then I threw one on the side there.
That's a
'cause it
big
didn't help.
chicken.
That's a big one.
That's,
So there's my letter. Nobody reads it. No. And we'll
I,
see.
I read the paragraph that was about me.
I, yeah, as you should. Then we have a kind of a funny table of contents, and there you are at the top. And then we
On
have,
the same page with Emmett Kelly. Boy, I feel
I
special.
know, and magicalmaddie.fun, Matthew Spraggins. He is a delightful clown and has so much great information to share. And this one is all about how to build a show that flows. And there is from Bullied to Bullseye the Clown.
There I am.
Hooray. There you
Hello.
go, with your boxing gloves on, ready to punch my
And
lights
my
out.
instant weight loss tie. You put that tie on,
Yeah,
your whole belly disappears. It's a great thing.
exactly. Exactly. And there you are with Patch Adams, the
Oh,
real
there he
Patch
is.
Adams in Moscow. And let's see, there you are. So we've done these together. We've done these memes. And so
Yes,
I
as
made,
Leslie mentioned, she does do branding. So I did contact her. She came up with my Bullseye logos, and then I had her create all of these little memes that you see going down the side of this
yep.
page. And I kind of release one of those like once a week. And then once I'm done with the first 20, I'm sure I'll have her make some more.
Oh yeah, we'll work on it. Yep. So, and then here, I'm doing something now called suitable for framing. And there
Ooh,
he is.
here I am as the centerfold cover. Look at that. I'm right in the centerfold of the magazine.
There he is, Bullseye, the clown. And who's your chicken? What's the chicken's name?
I haven't really named him yet, but Charlie. We'll call him Charlie the Chicken. How's that?
That's a good name, Charlie the Chicken. I love that his eyeballs look like whatever.
Yeah, yeah. He's rolling his eyes at me. He knows how I am. So he's like,
and
good
and here
grief.
we have Kurt Guns. He appeals to a lot of readers. Pricing your show is something that a lot of people, even other than clowns, find helpful. He even offers on his website free social distancing signs for performers, and so he
Yes,
has
because
a
once we get back into it, that's what we're going to have to start doing.
right, and he's offering a program where you reclaim your business after the coronavirus. He has a fantastic program there. And Steve Dawson, The Magic Is You, my gosh, this guy had a magic shop for 20 years, and I used to buy magic from him in California. And, magic shops are some of our favorite places to hang
Yes,
out.
yes, they
And
are.
he's been a friend all that time, and he writes fantastic articles. This one is all about a mentalism trick. And there's my book. We'll pass
Oh,
that
there's
up.
Leslie.
Ooh. And here's Keith Karras, How to Work with a Partner and Keep All the Money for Yourself.
Oh, I
Yummy.
like that. Unless I'm the partner that's not getting the money.
I know. So it's about puppets and that sort of thing. But he also has taken copious notes at all the conventions and things he's been to. And he's sharing here some of the greatest quotes I've ever heard.
Wow.
Fantastic. And so it just goes to show you it really helps to take notes like crazy.
I didn't.
Um, Magic coloring book. Make your own magic coloring book. This is a great idea because when you see that magic coloring book, the one that you can purchase, everybody
Yes, I
should
have
have,
3 or 4 of those same ones. Yes, I got them.
yeah. Well, and a lot of the kids know it already and they go, "Oh, I know that." But if you make your own, they don't know it by the cover. So this is kind of a cool thing and she's showing how to do it. It's pretty cool. And we have Randy Christensen here doing his Laugh and Learn and how to write comedy sketches. And it's a really good book.
I
And
got
we
that
have,
book.
it's fantastic. And we have websites for clowns. I have some great people I work with that are excellent. And here is the guy that turned me down for clown
There,
college.
there's that guy that told you you were no good. Look at that.
And I love him. He is fantastic. And he is a brilliant historian with regards to circus and clowns. And so here's Emmett Kelly, and this is the chapter in his book. And the book is called Ringling Remembered, and I'll show you that in a minute. And this is part 2 of that. And there is Ron Severini in Younger Days, and Bill Ballantyne with Lou Jacobs and Emmett Kelly. And here's
Actually,
Emmett.
I found this actually very interesting whenever I was reading it in the magazine because, but more I thought about it, I had never seen a picture of Emmett Kelly without his makeup on.
Right,
And so
right.
it was very interesting to go through here and then actually see, like, especially that colored one on the top. I'm like, I had no, if he'd been walking down the street, I would have no idea who he
No
is
idea.
because I've only just known him from his clown makeup.
Yeah, and that and the fact that Ron tells in this story here how talkative he was. at how because he was a silent clown.
Yeah, well, yes. I tried to be a silent clown, and that lasted about a
Yeah,
half an hour. Yes.
I'll bet. Yeah, 15 minutes, right? Okay. So, and here he is with his book, Ringling Remembered. This is a fabulous book through the eyes of a circus clown. And Ron Severini wrote a fabulous book here. He tells so many great stories about just about his experiences in the circus. And there is one shocking. I mean, there's a lot of great stories, but there's one that's a shocker. I mean,
Oh,
just a shocker, and it'll stay with you forever. And that's all I'm going to say.
oh, well, then I will definitely have to read that chapter. I've got the book on my Kindle, but I haven't read it all, so I must not have got to the shocking one
Yeah,
yet.
you'll know when you get there. You'll know. And let's see. Then I decided a couple of months ago to put birthdays in because I thought
Yeah, she decided that after my birthday,
after
apparently.
I did. I put,
Because I don't see mine anywhere, because mine doesn't come up until January.
exactly, exactly. And we have Mr. Greggy. I love him. He's so funny. He is so funny. And then we have Real
Red.
Clowns Can Make a Difference, and that is Red Nose Readers.
Yay!
And you are a Red Nose Reader, and I'm so thrilled for you for that.
Like I said, now that schools are slowly getting back in session, we will start doing some more of that red nose reading and getting that going. But I have read a few books online, so if you go to YouTube and look up Bullseye the Clown, you'll see that I have a couple stories on there that I have read.
Great. And then we have Greg McMahon. This is Mr. Greggy, and converting your party show to a stage show. This is a fabulous article. I can't tell you how much I love this. This is just, it is perfectly written. And
And you'll notice as she's scrolling through this magazine, every so often you're going to see that little piece right there that says "Reach Your Peeps, advertise with us." Anybody can advertise with Leslie and her Just for Clowns magazine. So all you have to do is just go to justforclowns@gmail.com and talk to her about advertising in the magazine.
any friendly kind of deal. So yes.
Yes, no strip clubs or anything like that. So it's got
That
to be
would be,
family friendly.
that would be, not unless you're stripping paint.
That's
Okay.
right. Yes.
And then we have the great Christopher T. Magician letting me, I'm so excited. He let me publish one of his chapters in his book. It's called Beyond Look, Don't See. And the chapter is Do Funny. And he is hysterical. He is a magician, and he is funnier than a lot of clowns. I mean, he's just silly, funny, and he's a character, and he's got all these one-liners. You know, these are just notes he took, and this is more, you know, about him and what he's doing, and he's telling you exactly how to be funny. He actually says,
Oh,
these are the things I do.
oh, then I guess I better read that to find out how to be funny.
Definitely. I mean, he is so good. And he has his book. So the book is Beyond Look, Don't See, and it's right here. And so you can order it from him and get free shipping in the US. And you can get it online on Amazon, but you'll pay shipping. So if you went to ChristopherTMagician@gmail.com and said, I want to buy your book, he'll work it out with you. One of the greatest thought leaders of our time in clowning is David Bartlett. Now, David, when I told him that, he said, you need to, you know, up your game and get a better.
You need to expand your horizons, Leslie.
Yeah, yeah. You need to raise your standards, is what he said. No, he is absolutely brilliant. So if you want a deeper dive into the essence of clowning, and I do mean the essence of clowning, if you want to go there, you must get this book. This is a must read for every clown. You'll read it over and over and over again, and you will always be thrilled that you got this.
Now I have a question. Now, is this a new book? Because I've been in every episode or the last few issues of your magazine. This is the first time I've ever seen the cover of this book. So is this just the first time he's advertising it, or is this a brand new book?
He it was put out in 2015,
Okay.
and and I think he just sells it himself. It's not on Amazon officially. It's not on Amazon, so you have to get it through him. So just email him and say,
Yes, I definitely will, because this is the first time I've seen that book, so I wanted to make sure that I get me a copy of that.
and you can get it on the audio album on bandcamp.com. So if you'd rather have the audio album, you can buy it there. It's a guide to unique clowning. I cannot say enough about this book. This book is written in plain English. It's not, PhD dissertation stuff. This is plain English, and it makes more sense than anything I have ever read practically about clowning. So he doesn't want to write anymore. He thinks he's pretty much said everything he has to say. And so I asked him if I could use his nuggets.
Well, you better rephrase that.
Okay. I said, it's going to be called a fool's gold, and it's going to be a nugget from David Bartlett. So here he is with, his nuggets.
with his two nuggets. Yes, I see that.
It's actually a double dose of fool's gold this time. And he did have a book previously, The Clown Star. It is wonderful as well. And it is out of print, but I'm working on him. So anyway, so then I started thinking about, I've got 6 issues a year where I can feature people. And then there are people that I want to feature, but I can't feature everybody. And so I'm doing a highlight on like a 1-pager on somebody each time now. And the first one I decided to do was Jim Donahue as Donuts. Love him to pieces. And he's been with Just for Clowns since the very beginning. He's been one of our first supporters. And he is a champion of what I'm doing. And I can't say enough how much I appreciate him. He has some fabulous characters that he works throughout the year for different things. And he's fun, and he's corny, and he's delightful, and he has great heart for clowning. And I couldn't think of a better person to give this to. So he's in our first highlight.
And if I'm not mistaken, isn't he also in your first your book on Adventures in Clowning?
Yes, he is in, and his chapters are ridiculously funny. I mean, ridiculously funny. I mean, they're horrific, but they're funny. both of his experiences, his good ones and his, and his shaky ones. So this is Sammy Smith. He wrote a great book called Big Laughs for Little People. It's a fantastic book. And here we have Mike Bednarik, who's talking about coaching, and he'll be doing a series of articles on coaching. How coaching can help clowns. Why do you want to coach? Things a coach can do for you. Resources in coaching, which I'm not in, by the way. No.
But don't fret. Leslie is a good coach. She loves to tell people what to do. That's why she decided to sponsor my show, just so she can tell me what to put in there, what to say, and what not to say.
You do your own thing. I'm cool. But no, I just love sponsoring you. You're just a joy. So anyway, I do coach people, and I am currently coaching a couple people ongoing, but there are so many good coaches out there that are have brilliant ideas and that really understand. I think one of the best things you can do for yourself is buy Dave Bartlett's book. That is one of the best coaches you can have to start with. In fact, I would recommend that, period.
That will be my next purchase, so I will contact him today when this interview is over, and I will see about getting that book.
Okay, so you can tell him that I goosed you into that.
Okay.
And that he needs to reprint The Clown Star.
Okay, I will tell him both of those things. I'll
And
say she goosed me into buying your book. Now I'm goosing you into re-releasing your other book.
right, exactly. So I never did face painting. I never wanted to, but a lot of clowns do it. But they're doing it a little differently now. They're doing a lot of glitter. And so this is an article by Loretta Cava. She has a lot of experience with this, and she has lots of face painting goodies and things that she sells. And so she's really good at this. And so I've included her because a lot of clowns do face paint.
And
Um,
right there is that website that you mentioned earlier,
yeah,
mycoa.com. That's where you can get the free copy of
yeah.
Leslie's book. You can read it for free on that website.
And this is the Junior Joey's logo that I did for them, Clown Arts Education for Kids at mycoa.com. Yep. And so PJ's Magical Musings. PJ is from the UK, and he's got a terrific article here on change bag information and funny business on that, and he does a great job. And a tall order making and learning to walk on stilts. John Carlson as Vinnie Van Goof. How cute is that? And he made his own stilts, and he talks about it and how he did it and the whole process. This man is remarkable because he just decides what he's going to do. He lays out his plan and he does it. And that is so rare. And I totally respect that. He's brilliant. And picnics with Rick and Kelly DeLong. I'm telling you, these people have done more picnics, maybe as many as I have. I don't know, but they are really, really strong at picnic entertainment. And so they wrote about games this time. And once again, we have Sammy Smith here, and he has a lot of cool things, magic things he produces, and you can order. So he is remarkable and great to work with. He actually is the editor of the new Calliope.
Okay.
And so I do some other work with him too, and I love working with him. This whole clown community is remarkable. And I, just want to say I'm not here to compete with the organizations. I'm here to support clowns and all organizations. And so
You help to enhance the other organizations as well. That's what it
good,
is.
good.
It's more of an enhancement. You just kind of.
Yeah,
And so all that stuff that she just showed from that was one issue. That was one issue of Just
one
for Clowns
issue,
magazine. She
right.
does 6 of those a year. So just imagine how much content you get in every single issue of that magazine.
And they're all different. And we have ongoing writers and we have guest writers. And so if anyone who's watching this would like to have a copy, a complimentary copy, you may have one if you haven't had one before. And I keep track.
And she
And
knows who had one before, so don't you try to fool no funny business.
so just email me at JESTFOR clowns with an S, just for clowns at gmail.com, and ask me for say you saw the video and you want a complimentary copy of the Bullseye issue. And yay! And we are getting ready to go into year 3. This next issue will be year 3 for us.
And for everybody who mentions Bullseye the Clown, that getting that copy, she'll donate $100 to me for every person who comes through and says that. Look at that face. Now that's a face of somebody who. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
That was good. That was good.
It was good. Far-fetched, but good.
Oh, Lord. That's funny.
So is there any last words you would like to say about anything that we haven't maybe covered yet today that you thought we should cover before you...
Well, you kind of made me speechless.
She was trying to think about all these $100 bills that she's going to have to give me after this show is over.
I just want to say, Dr. Seuss said it best, why fit in when you were born to stand out? And I think that pretty much says it all. no matter what you do, whether you're a clown, whether you're a magician, whether you're just a regular person at a day job, just stand out at what you do and who you are, and don't be afraid. And I know it's easy to say, but now that I've been through this part of the journey and I'm on my, the September of my years, I I feel like I wish I had known back then what I know now, that everything is going to be cool. That you're going to get through everything you need to get through, and that you're going to have everything you need, and that you'll have the support that you need.
And one of the sayings that I always liked, and I heard it from a television preacher of all people, but it's the whole thing of there's nothing saying that you can't be afraid, but you just have to do it afraid. You know,
Exactly. Do it anyway.
you do it anyway, even though you might be afraid to do it. Being afraid never killed anybody. So go ahead and do it afraid.
I I have jumped off the ledge many times.
Yes.
Terrified, and thought, well, that wasn't so bad.
Well, tell me about it. I decided to do a YouTube show, and boy, I'm like, oh boy, the hardest part is that first step. It's getting started. It's you because all these things go through your head. I don't have the right lights. I don't have the right camera. I don't have the right background. I don't have the right costume. I don't, So you create all of these obstacles that really aren't there.
Right,
They're things that you can easily overcome without
right.
without Leslie giving you $100.
Exactly.
So like, yes, so that's the best part. To me, not giving you money, that's the best part.
Oh,
But it
well,
was such a joy having you on today, Leslie. Thank you so much for being my guest.
and thank you. I so wish the very best for you. I want you to thrive. I want your message to be out there, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. Thank you for, collaborating with me.
Well, thank you for supporting us here at Bullseye the Clown. And this has been Bullseye the Clown in this episode of Bullseye on Bullying with our very special guest and sponsor, Leslie and Akin. Thank you so much, and we will see you the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.